Hey everybody, Texas Trucker here, Alliance's Performance Shop, along with Mopars.com. Mopar Monday, and getting some house cleaning done. This is something I picked up. It was like almost in line with my birthday. I've never gotten to showcase the thing. I've actually used it twice. You can't really tell, but I've just had it right here inside the door, and I'm kind of tired of walking in and it greeting me every time. So what this is, if you're curious, it's the Franklin 800-pound capacity heavy-duty dolly. That's right, I am a dolly person. What I want to know from you right now, is this a dolly or a hand truck? Again, to me, growing up, it was a dolly. I never heard a hand truck until I heard janitors in high school talking about a hand truck. And it kind of blew my mind when I saw them get a dolly. But nonetheless, got tons of dollies at work. I have some I'm partial to, some that not so well. And I deal with a lot of heavy stuff here in the shop. I get a lot of heavy packages from time to time. Usually just manhandle them. Sometimes, you throw stuff in the back of the truck, drive it, use a wheelbarrow, something along those lines. This will be a welcome addition. Currently, this is retailing for around $75 at Harbor Freight. The good news is these go on sale frequently. The problem is Harbor Freight has several different dollies, and they seem to cycle through sales. The other catch, a lot of times when they're on sale and you think, great, I'm going to buy it, it's not that good of a deal. Like it's $74.99 and you just see the red sale price of like $69 or $64. That's only $10, right? So kind of be leery of that. These aren't excluded from coupons, so if you want to wait for that, go for it. Generally, anytime you see something 20+%, it's a pretty fair deal. That's usually what I try to go for. But the selling points on this, why did I pick the black one? Wouldn't you have liked a different color? Well, unfortunately, they don't do like they do the U.S. Generals. We don't have like 7 different colors of dollies to choose from, at least in the same spec. Now, this one, and I kind of learned this from the ladies at Harbor Freight, I thought they had taken this and put different wheels on it, right? Because there was a couple of times they were like super busy, and they just had me wheel like I'm in there enough. They trust me to bring their dolly back. And so sort of wheel stuff out on my own type of a deal and return the dolly. But I had one of them, I think she used to be a manager, and she was like, oh yeah, use that one, we put better wheels on it. And it was this, and I thought, okay, so whenever I buy a dolly, I need to get this one. I liked the way it performed, just to and from the door to the parking lot. And I thought I'm going to have to buy some different wheels for it. Well, it turns out this already has the good wheels on it, so she must have been thinking of a different dolly or something, but this, in and of itself, is worth it to me. Now, depending on what you're rolling over, what you plan to do, you might go a different direction. But for what oh god, there's a dragonfly in here, in the shop. Scared the snot out of me. That's not something you expect to turn inside and see. But yeah, this one, 800-pound capacity. They're going to claim extra rugged construction. Can handle jobs up to 800 pounds. Oversized, flat-free tires. Ultra durable and maintenance-free. Some of you might want pneumatic tires. I don't. This is what I learned at work at a very young age, 14, 15 years old. The pneumatic tires suck. You pick up anything heavy where you actually need a dolly, and what do? They flatten. They can't handle the load. And then similarly, at the time, the parking lot was caliche on one side. That was a nightmare. And then past that, it's just a deal where you can have them lose air. They can go flat. It's just like a regular bicycle tire, right? So is this a little bit more rigid? Is it a harsher suspension? Maybe, but I don't care because it doesn't collapse. It doesn't bend. It rolls well with a load. That's what I want. So I'm not sure what situation a pneumatic tire would be good for. I mean, maybe if you've got a really tall stack of boxes that you would drop that has, let's say we're shipping foam kneeling pads. I'm looking at one over here, and you've got an order of 40 of them, and you've got custom flat lay boxes for the things. That would be difficult for you to carry. You could stack them up here, from the bottom to the top of that, and be fine. That's really all I can come up with where this would be an advantage, because otherwise I want these tires. I want the flat free. I want the heavy duty solid tires, and I I don't know of anything. Maybe rolling an empty dolly, you would enjoy it more. Having the pneumatics, I don't know. For me, from past experience, this is the way I want to go, and the fact that they're on here saves me money. So, only real downside, this is only available in black, right? The good news is, like, if you've got a buddy that powder coats or you do it, this would be very easy to dismantle. You just take the wheel off, slide the axle out, and tell them, hey, I want you to make this turquoise, or whatever color of choice you wanted to go with. And at this price, you can kind of do that. So, that said, she's all bundled up. This will just slide right out. Trust me, I know. The cool thing here, this actually kind of has the side guards, and what that's good for is it'll help if you've got like a wider item, right? And I say wider item, maybe you've got a rear end, maybe it's just literally a heavy box. That is a nice thing to have. The longer, wider, and flatter the bottom is, the more you can pick up. A lot of times when your box is like this big, you sort of have to tilt and kick from behind and everything, or have somebody kind of hold the load while you pull back. Gets a little sketchy. A lot of times you lay something down and just sort of pick it up, and that just holds it. For what I do here, I think it should be fairly mild, so I'm not too worried. But I gotta tell you, again, this is actually really nice. They generally have these towards the front of the store. You can just play around with them. You can see what you like the feel of, and kind of go from there. Again, the tires come wrapped. The bottom comes wrapped. Every edge is kind of wrapped where you could potentially rub. They do a pretty solid little job here. So the other thing, there's sort of probably going to be some differing opinions here, but I can tell you again from experience, I like this. And you're like, well, what is this? If you come down here, it's that. It's this handle, okay? That's where I am going to control the dolly. Let me try to get this strap out of the way. If you couldn't tell, we are freehanding this one. So when I turn this around, I want you to note that I'm doing that with one hand, because obviously, again, we've established I'm holding the camera in this hand. So everything is one-handed, right? When you might think it's a great idea to have your handle come out here. You might look at the grip. You might see this just come out, and it's got a nice blue or red comfort grip. Even has finger slots, same thing over here. There's a problem. That's going to require two hands. I've never seen one of those that has a bar connect, which would make so much sense, or even have a third handle. So you could pick if it's super crazy heavy and you've genuinely got to use two hands and you can't just one hand the thing. Having a third handle in the middle would just eliminate that concern. But I'll tell you right now, again from experience, it sucks. It absolutely sucks having the two handles. This is so much better. Now, a lot of times this differs, I should say. You don't have it come down. You don't have this recess here. A lot of the times it's just a handle here. Similarly, if we were to saw this off and saw this off, a lot of times your dolly is just like that and you don't have this handle. This handle being here, kind of recessed like a hoop, that's going to mean, whereas if this was stacked all the way to the top, even just with cut cardboard, let's say, this is harder to get your hand in, let alone if it's heavy. With this, it's not an issue. The other thing I always like to look at with dollies is in here. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and tear this little flat bar. You know, flat bar metal. It's welded up. It is nice. It's welded. It's not riveted or something weak. But here, and here, and here. That's important because, again, let's say that you are doing small boxes that stack well. You are creating a slot for something to come through, right? The ones that work are a little older. We also need really heavy stuff, sometimes overkill. You'll often see dollies with this bowed by design. Ours are bowed by force. This is pretty thick. It looks like it's about 1/8 inch or so. It's very robust. Again, it is welded, which is nice to see. And even here on the back, the kick is going to be real nice. If you wanted to come in and like split the gap or basket weave it or do whatever you have to custom tailor, you're free to do that. You'll just have to scuff the coating. But I think I'm gonna like it. And like I said, I kind of want to get it to a different part of the shop. So this is the Franklin 800 pounder. Again, I don't remember exactly what I paid, but I know I'd waited and waited and finally got a pretty solid deal. Ironically, I think it was from this trip to Harbor Freight. They had the spin something and, you know, get a free gift. I think it's probably like 30 bucks or something. And I picked a Franklin Dolly. You could never have too many of these. This is the 1,000 pounder, as you can see there. Very small, but again, it was free. So would I prefer the larger one? Yes, but it's free. I'm not going to argue, and I think it's the best option with what they had. So bottom line, though, again, just one-handed playing around here in tight confines. She's working really good. Again, you can roll these around the store. I'm sure if you asked, they'd probably think you were weird, but they'd let you like go on a joyride. And what really helped me, if you note kind of off to the side where they've got carts or baskets and some of the toolboxes, you'll probably see 3, 4, 5 dollies of different types. They're not for sale. They're what the store actually uses. Let them, you know, ask if you can like swing one of those around or go out in the parking lot if you really want to like test drive before a trip and go to town. So what I will do is get this thing opened up so you can kind of see it without the cardboard, and then I will also get a tape measure. We'll get some dimensions on it. But again, 800 pound capacity. It's passed my initial test. I think it's going to be good, again, especially for what I do here. One thing that will be really nice with this is just moving around cylinders. I'm talking gas cylinders. So oxygen, acetylene, CO2, argon, everything. Similarly, you know, like propane, if you've got, say, I'm wondering if I can nest 2 5-gallon like Sunoco jugs or something down there. It'll just be super nice to have a dolly in here finally. So I might grab some stuff, and you're thinking like, man, you just move your oxygen and acetylene and stand together. Yeah, until you're empty and you've got to get a different bottle. So you got to, again, think about things. Heavy crud you've got, I mean, moving day, it's always nice to have a dolly. So I'll get her opened up, we'll take a look at it, and then we will call it a wrap. All right, so not the easiest thing to film without a tripod in cramped quarters. But, the platform, this is what matters. A to B, 18 inches. Depth, C to D, 8 inches. Pretty nice platform. Again, you do kind of have the guards there for the wheels. That'll also help support boxes. The metal strips that you're going to see 1, 2, and 3. Those are roughly 12 inches apart. We're just going to run with that. It's not exact, but it's close enough. Overall height, we're going to call that 51 inches. So, hopefully, if you needed that information, that helps you out some. That's what I got for you. So again, 18 by 8. Every one of those bars is roughly 12 inches apart. And again, overall height of 51 inches. Pretty solid little thing there. If you're curious what that is an antique, kind of. It was a Sunday school chair. When my granddad taught Sunday school, I guess it was sentimental. He had one chair left that the kids would sit in, and that goes way back in time, but it's mine now, and I need more space in here because it's also kind of in the way. So with that said, though, again, picking this up for around probably like $50, I think was a pretty solid buy. Can't go wrong, especially when you don't have one. What I'll do now, I've drug some Sunoco jugs over here. I'll kind of set it up. I actually need 2 hands to do it with the tight confines. Again, I'm basically up against an immovable object, and I don't want to scratch anything up, so in terms of the toolbox behind it. But give me 1 second, I'll kind of give you just a rough little demo. Did I mention how tight of a space we are in? These are full. These are 5-gallon jugs of Sunoco. They've got gas in them. They are heavy. There's something you can easily carry around, one in each hand if you wanted to, but a dolly is a very nice trade-off, right? So again, this is all the space I have here, but I just want to highlight, again, very light load, nothing crazy, but something very similar to what you might do You could think of this, I mean, even using this in gardening terms, wood chips, fertilizer, you just throw the sack and kind of keep it low. It's a great pickup, not just like for a shop, like as a homeowner even, provided you've got, garage space or something. You will use a dolly, not often, but when you need it, it's great to have. Again, moving, if you're someone that hops around all the time, flips houses, handyman type, if you constantly upgrading, renovating, maybe you and your wife are renovating a home and you're slowly upgrading appliances as time allows, get a dolly. Moving heavy things, get a dolly. Old furniture, get a dolly. Again, you'll note we've got the handles out on that. You also want to be smart with your load. We've got everything concentrated to the inside. It's basic common sense, man. And again, I think 75 is not terrible, but it's Harbor Freight, so you can't pay full price for anything unless you're desperate. And if you're patient, I mean, I'm talking within the course 4 to 6 weeks, if you don't see this exact dolly on sale, you will probably get a coupon that you can throw onto the dolly and get it for a lower price. So that's all I got for you. Again, it is always nice to have a dolly. Again, biggest takeaway here, if you've used this, how are you liking it? What are you doing with it? How does it compare to anything else? Are there any limitations? Are you a solid tire or a pneumatic tire? Which do you prefer and why? Similarly, the biggest thing, is it a hand truck or a dolly? To me, it's always been a dolly. Everyone in the world could call it a hand truck. I'm still going to be the guy that's like, yeah, let me grab the dolly. I don't care what images that conjures up in someone else's mind. To me, it's this, and that's what I'm going to continue calling it. So I got to dump that thing. Had some heavy rains the other night, but yeah, the smaller, lighter duty ones aren't terrible, but I felt like this was the best bang for the buck, especially considering it comes with the good tires. I took all the cellophane stretch wrap off except for those. That looked like a pain in the butt. I didn't want to deal with it. So over time, they'll take care of themselves, or I'll get a little free time, flip it, and spin it off real quick. But yeah, if you've used this, again, your insights, experiences, time frame you've had it, all that stuff, feel free to leave a comment down below. The dollies at work, they're old. They're probably American. I couldn't tell you a brand. I have zero freaking clue. So while they've been great, I can't sit here and tell you like, oh yeah, the old proto. I have absolutely no idea who the OEM or the manufacturer is. So with that said, again, it seems dumb, but if you're seriously considering one of these and you're like, well, the red one's on sale, grab it. Just take them. They've got them usually on some blue rubber tiles. Spin them around, walk down the aisle with them a little bit, and make sure you get something you're going to be happy with. So for me, the tires kind of sealed it. I liked the style and design, and again, having gotten to use it a couple times at the store, like literally use it to take my stuff out, I was pretty confident in it. So once again, your thoughts and opinions always appreciated. Apologies, we don't have like more space. I mean, you kind of, I could move the shop back and go a little bit, but we're right up against a car, and then we run into mowers. We need me a bigger shop. That's what we need to work towards. So with that said, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned a little something. LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all three at Lone Star Mopars. If you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to do so. If you jump your Charger across the creek, ring the bell, land, pick up your dolly, and win a race against the guy that grabs a hand truck, YouTube just might notify you. We got new videos every Wednesday and Saturday, 9 a.m. Texas time. With that said, thanks so much for watching. Most importantly, I hope I catch you back here for more from the shop.